This is a really cool section because this part focuses on this crazy, stormy sea voyage. It's like the storm itself is a test.
It is. It is. It's like a filter almost, right?
Totally.
Weeding out who can't hack it right from the get-go.
Exactly. And on page 40, man, Togashi does not hold back with the visuals.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like, those waves are insane.
Huge.
They're like practically swallowing the ship.
It's like you can feel the danger just looking at the page.
Right. Like you're right there in it.
Totally. And what's interesting is you see such a range of reactions from the people on board, right?
Totally. Yeah. Like you've got some of the passengers who are like seasoned sailors, and they're just totally calm.
Like they're having a picnic. It's wild.
I know, right? And then you've got these rookie examinees who are like understandably freaking out.
Yeah, they're like, why did I sign up for this?
Right. Like, this is not what I signed up for.
Exactly. It's such a great contrast. And you can tell Togashi's playing with that on purpose, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
like on page 41, there's this panel where this one sailor is so chill.
And meanwhile, you've got some of these other characters who are about to jump overboard.
Right. Like they're about to lose it.
Makes you wonder, is the captain watching all this? Like, is this part of the test too?
Oh, I bet it is. Yeah. You know, observing how people react under pressure.
Exactly. Because being a hunter, it's not just about like being physically strong.
No way. It's about mental fortitude, resilience.
Right. Like, can you keep a cool head when everything's going crazy around you?
And that's something that like brute strength can't teach you.
Exactly. The storm, it's like a test of character disguised as a natural disaster.
I love that. A test of character in disguise. Stealing that one.
Go for it.
But speaking of tests of character, once the storm dies down, things get even more interesting.
Oh, yeah. This is where the real fun begins. So we're on page 42 now, and we get this really intriguing image. A dolphin leaping from the water. What do you make of that, like in the context of this crazy journey they've been on?
That's a good question. On the one hand, it's like this moment of peace after all the chaos. You almost feel this sense of relief. The characters must be feeling as they finally reach calm waters.
Right.
But on the other hand, it could be symbolic too.
Oh, totally. Is it a good omen for our protagonist? Or is it like a red herring?
I know, right? So I think Togashi's messing with us.
He's the master of suspense, that's for sure.
And this is just the beginning of the exam. Man, this deep dive is already making me look at this part of the story in a whole new way.
That's what we like to hear. That's the goal.
It's amazing how these little details can have so much meaning when you really dig into them.
It's all about reading between the lines, you know? Noticing the subtle cues.
Right. Because in HunterxHunter, nothing is ever straightforward.
Never. What would be the fun in that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But before we get ahead of ourselves...
Wait, let's not spoil the surprise.
Let's see what happens next. The storm might be over, but the real test is just getting started.
You got it. Oh, yeah. The real test begins now, right? As we turn to page 42, the captain makes it pretty clear. This isn't just about who got seasick.
Right.
He's watching how everyone handled themselves during that whole ordeal.
It's like he's looking for something specific.
Exactly.
No.
He even says something like he's looking for examinees with their wits about them.
Which is so interesting, right? Because you might assume a hunter just needs to be strong physically, like a powerhouse.
Right.
But that line about their wits, it really highlights how important mental sharpness is, too.
Absolutely. They need to be adaptable, able to think on their feet.
Right, because out in the field, they're going to face all sorts of crazy situations.
Exactly. And the captain, he's like, I don't need a bunch of panicky passengers. Right. He needs hunters who can stay calm under pressure.
Totally. And, you know, think strategically, even when things are chaotic.
Exactly. It's like this whole exam, it's as much about psychological strength as it is about physical strength.
Totally. And he puts that to the test right away.
Oh, yeah.
On page 46, he throws out this challenge, and it's not like a physical test or anything.
Right.
It's like this mental puzzle, forcing them to use deduction and observation.
It's brilliant, really, because it plays on that whole idea of independence versus following the crowd.
Oh, totally. Like some examinees are immediately looking to others for instructions.
Yeah.
And then you've got others who are already trying to solve it on their own.
It makes you think, is that part of the test too?
Right.
Like, is the captain watching to see who takes initiative? Who relies on themselves?
It has to be right. Because those are such crucial traits for a hunter.
Absolutely. Especially when they're out in the field on their own.
Exactly. This challenge isn't just about like finding the right answer or whatever. It's about revealing their thought processes, how they approach problems.
You got it.
But then just when we think we're starting to understand the game.
Right. Togashi throws us a curveball.
Totally. On page 56, remember that examinee who was freaking out earlier? He causes this huge incident on the ship. It's like a reminder that this exam, it's not a game.
Not at all.
There are real stakes.
Yeah.
And one wrong move can have serious consequences.
And the way Togashi depicts this whole scene,
Oh my gosh.
the impact, the sound effects, you can practically feel the chaos and tension.
I know. It's like you're right there on deck with them.
And it's in this moment of crisis, right,
Yeah.
that we really see our protagonist's character shine through.
And not in the way you might expect. He doesn't like try to fight or anything. It's
Yeah.
like he doesn't even hesitate.
Mm-hmm.
On page 57, he just instinctively to save the other examinee who got thrown overboard.
Whoa.
That's pretty amazing when you think about it.
It really is, especially in the middle of all that chaos.
Right. Like he could have just focused on his own safety.
Totally. It would have been the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, exactly. But instead, he risks his own neck to save this other guy.
Yeah.
It's like he understands that being a hunter isn't just about power or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's about responsibility
Exactly.
and like looking out for others.
It's almost like a subtle nod to the hunter's code.
Totally.
Mm.
Even before it's like officially introduced or anything.
Right. Like he already embodies those values.
And I bet that's what caught the captain's eye.
Oh, absolutely.
Because on page 61, when the captain's making his final assessments, he even says, like, he knows the protagonist might not be the most impressive in terms of raw strengths or whatever, but he sees something special in him.
Potential.
Exactly.
He sees the kind of person he could become.
And that's really what it comes down to. Is
Right. It's like the hunter exam. It's not just a physical test or even a mental one, really.
it's like a test of character.
Exactly.
And that's what makes it so compelling.
It really does. It makes you think about what's truly important when you're facing danger and uncertainty.
Right. Is it raw power? Or is it having a strong moral compass?
It's a question we all have to grapple with.
Totally. Well, this has been awesome.
I've had a blast.
Me too. It's amazing how much we got out of just these few pages.
Right. We went from a raging storm to a quiet moment with a dolphin to a sudden attack.
And we're just getting started with the hunter exam.
There's so much more to come.
I know. I can't wait to see what happens next.
Me neither.
But for now, we're going to have to leave it there.
Until next time.
Exactly. So for everyone listening, make sure you check out HunterxHunter
You won't regret it.
and let us know what you think.
We love hearing from you.
All right. Until next time.